everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and today is my week number 35 pregnancy update, and this one's gonna be a little bit crazy. I'm gonna be having our little baby in 2 weeks, which is shocking, and I majorly ugly cried about this yesterday when I got the official word about this. So we're gonna back up a little bit and I'll tell you guys what's been going on. In the last, I don't know, at least the last few updates for you guys, I have had to do some major editing because I will start scratching myself. Like I'll start scratching here and I'll have to cut out part of the video and I'll be scratching my arms. And if you ever see like my arm moving, it's because I've been scratching my legs hardcore. So you'll see my arm moving every once in a while and I'm just like scratching at my legs. And it's something that I knew I was doing, but I didn't think it was all that big of a deal, honestly, until like midway through last week before my OB appointment. I really noticed like, dang, I'm super itchy and I wanted to talk to my doctor about getting whatever cream is pregnancy safe. A hydrocortisone cream or a Benadryl cream or something that's baby safe that I can put on just to kind of soothe the itchy spots. And I've been telling you guys for a long time, my stomach has been itchy and that's continued to get worse, but it's also been other places like my legs and my arms and especially like my chest area. And I'm like, oh, you know, the skin's just expanding because I'm getting so big and I didn't think anything of it. So I get to the doctor's appointment a couple of days later and I ask her like, you know, I'm super itchy, what can I do? And she asks me a ton of questions about the itchiness and she said, okay, it's probably nothing. It's probably just, you know, pregnancy hormones and dry skin. Have you changed any of your vitamins? Have you changed any beauty products? Like all these questions asking me. And I was like, nope, 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 all this stuff. And she said, well, you know, it's probably nothing, but we're going to go ahead and run some blood work. She said, if the itching gets worse or you develop a rash or anything, let me know, of course, immediately. And if not, we'll just wait for the blood work. It should take, she said it's kind of specialized blood work, so it can take up to 2 weeks. So I'll probably see you back at week 36 because this was last week, it was week 34. And if the blood work comes back abnormal, we're gonna take baby out. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, whoa, this changed from, I just need like an itchy cream to like, this could be a serious thing. And I'm thinking like, holy moly, what just happened, you know? Because I have always heard if you have a rash on your stomach or if your palms are itchy, then there could be a serious thing. But she's like, you know, it doesn't always present those ways and, you know, we're just gonna be safe. Better to be safe than sorry. And man, like within a day or two, I started itching so much worse. I'm itching to the point now I can't sleep. Like I'm itching, I've got some scratches from where I've itched too hard and I'm really trying to be gentle with myself, but I am itching all the freaking time, just all the time. I was reading Olivia her bedtime story over the weekend and I'm holding the book like, you know, with my fingers here somehow, and I have access to my palm and I realized I was scratching my palm. And since then my palms have been super itchy and I was doing it unconsciously. I didn't even realize I was scratching at my palms. And so I was like, dang it, I've got whatever it is the doctor was saying. So I looked up what it was. It's called cholestasis. It's something to do with your liver functioning and it can be really, really freaking serious. So not so much for me, but for the baby. It's you have excess bile in your system. It gets into the bloodstream of you and the bloodstream of your baby, and it can be life-threatening for the baby. So they are taking her out at week 37 to prevent something really catastrophic from happening. This is a really increased risk for stillbirth if it's after 37 weeks. So they're taking her out at 37 weeks and I'm just shocked. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I'm gonna try my best to post this on Tuesday. It may not go up until Wednesday, depending on how long it takes me to edit this, because I feel like it's gonna be long already. I'm like 5 minutes in already. You know, when I got the itchy palms, and we're looking at the blood work's not even gonna come back for another week, and everything I read online saying the blood work doesn't generally spike like right when you start itching. So they retake the blood work every week anyway. The blood work's not even conclusive all the time and I'm getting super itchy, like itchy palms, itchy everything. It's keeping me up at night. And so first thing Monday morning, I write to my doctor in the patient thing. They want to see me in, and sure enough, they're like, we're just diagnosing you with it because, you know, all the symptoms are lining up. And we won't be able to retest at this point. You know, I'll be past 37 weeks by the time they retest and I get the blood work back. It's very specific things that they're looking for in the blood work and not all the labs do it. So they have to ship it out. So we don't have time to retest. They're just diagnosing me with it because I've got it. I definitely have it. I just really feel like something's not right. I feel like my skin is just torturing me, and I don't know if this has anything to do with, even early on, I told you guys, like, my skin is just like bugging me. I don't like anybody touching me. I don't like fabric touching me. I don't like my hair touching me. And I've been really sensitive with my skin, and I didn't realize how much I was itching until the last few weeks when I'm trying to edit it out of videos. And then I really picked up on it, you know, last week when I was like, man, I gotta get some sort of cream to relieve this. And then over the weekend, it got so much worse. And now, like, I sit in the car and scratch my legs basically the whole time, or I'm scratching my back. Anytime I could take one hand off the wheel, I'm like scratching like this or scratching like this. And I don't know, I look like I'm tweaking. Like, I'm so itchy and scratchy, and it definitely gets worse at night. Like, I will just sit there and be miserable, scratching just constantly. And sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it during the day. Like, I was talking to some friends this morning. We're just kind of standing in the parking lot, and I'm like going like this, scratching myself. And of course I told them the news, like, you know, about having to move up my C-section, but it's been bad. You know, number one thing, get her out safely. And I broke down in the doctor's office yesterday when she told me, like, yeah, we're gonna diagnose you even without the blood work, because the blood work can be inconclusive, and we're gonna take her out in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? Like, bawling my eyes out in the doctor's office. And she's like, it's okay, your baby's gonna be fine. They consider 37 weeks full term at my doctor. Some say 38 weeks, some say 37 weeks. And she said most 37 weekers come out breathing and happy and hardly need to spend any time in the NICU, if at all. And she said the main thing that could be a problem that she sees most often with 37 weekers is they have a little bit of trouble feeding, like nursing and latching. So they do sometimes have to be tube fed, and that would mean me pumping around the clock to try to get my supply going until baby can latch well. So I'm ready. I'm gonna get the waterworks going now, because I'm shocked about this. But I just want to do what's best for her and get her out safely at this point. So I should hear back today or tomorrow what my actual official C-section date is. They're working on getting it scheduled right now, but it's gonna be in 2 weeks or less. I thought I had like 4.5 more weeks at this point, so really shocked about this. But at the end of the day, like, the only thing that matters is getting her out safely. And yeah, I'm trying super hard not to cry about this, because it's shocking to me. And she's gonna be a lot earlier than Livy. And the doctor's like, why are you crying? I was like, my last baby was 2 weeks overdue, and this baby's gonna be 3 weeks undercooked. And so I had Livy 5 weeks later than I'm gonna be having this baby, and it's just really shocking to me. So she's gonna be smaller, she may have some issues, she may have a NICU stay, we just don't know what to expect. But the best thing for her is to get her out by that 37 weeks. So yeah, I may have one more pregnancy update for you guys, and I won't have a time to film a 37-week update, and then it'll be off to C-section time. They are also monitoring more. I was supposed to have a growth scan next week. Well, I have one this week as well. So they kept my other one on the schedule. I assume I'm gonna have one both weeks at this point, just to, you know, make sure she's okay. Right now, you know, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal, but also it's not, because she's still safe there. Everything's okay. The light's going in and out, but she's still totally safe in there right now. It's just when you get to that 37-week mark that things get scarier. Just the bile building up in the bloodstream gets to be like toxic levels after that 37-week mark for some babies, and some of them don't survive. So I'm so thankful that even when I was just itching mildly, I went ahead and asked the doctor about it. And I wasn't asking in a way like, oh, is this something serious? I just thought it was like, oh, I'm having really dry skin that's bugging me. Give me something, like, let me know what I can take. 2 weeks or less from now, we're gonna have a baby, and I'll have hopefully one more pregnancy update for you guys, and then a baby announcement. So I will tell you guys the name when she gets here. I've been keeping it on the down low, and last week I told you guys we're like slowly getting stuff done. We got a crazy amount of stuff done this last weekend. I started itching, I started researching, and I was like, dang, we gotta get stuff done, because, you know, a lot of these babies come out early. Even now, I'm itching on my palms. So like, if you see my arms moving, it's because I'm still scratching myself. I cannot stop. So we did end up ordering all the stuff off my baby registry. After my last appointment, I told Johnny, you know, what had happened. I was like, she said, you know, if the blood work comes back bad, we're gonna get the baby out. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm kind of shocked too. So we went ahead and ordered the stuff, and thankfully most of it has come in, and that's a whole story on its own. My baby registry was hooked up to our previous address somehow, and I don't know how that happened because we already deleted our old addresses from Amazon. As soon as we move, we always delete the old addresses, so this kind of thing doesn't happen. And thank goodness the person at our previous house who bought the house after us ended up tracking me down. He's like, listen, I think I have all your packages. I was like, thank goodness, because I had tried to live chat with Amazon a couple of times. They couldn't tell me anything. They just kept insisting that everything was shipped to our house. And I was like, okay, it's showing me like 17 things have been delivered and nothing's been delivered. So what the heck's going on? And they're like, oh, you know, sometimes they mark it delivered and it shows up a couple days later. And he said he had called Amazon like every day since packages started arriving, and he had like a big stack of our packages. And he's like, they couldn't tell me anything. They're like, we have no idea where these packages came from. And he's like, why don't you come pick them up? And they're like, oh, we can't do that. So he's like, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? And a couple of the boxes clearly say like what baby stuff they are because they're bigger things. And so I'm so thankful he tracked me down. We went and met the guy who bought our house, and it was really nice. He's such a friendly guy. He's got a family, and so far they're really enjoying the area and enjoying the house. So I was really thankful for that. And then we got all our packages. So I'm still missing 3 packages. Hopefully I can go pick them up from him at some point, or they actually get delivered here. I don't know. Amazon was so not helpful with this. Usually if I've had any kind of problems with Amazon packages and deliveries, they are super duper quick to be able to fix it with the live chat, but they had no idea what was going on, and I don't know what the problem was, and they kept insisting everything was being delivered to my house, and none of it was. So far we've gotten 0 packages actually delivered to the right address. So that's been an adventure, and we're still missing 3 packages, and one of them is the bassinet, which we will need by the next 2 weeks. So hopefully it shows up at some point. And things were also more complicated because of the hurricane, and some of the things were coming from Houston. So the hurricane delayed a couple of things, and it was just a big giant poop show. I just don't know how else to put it. Thankfully the guy knew what to do, and he contacted me and we figured it out, but it was just crazy. So that has been really time consuming trying to go through everything. There was one night I live chatted with Amazon. It was basically an hour, like right under an hour. And they transferred me so many times to like various departments to try to figure out what was going on. Nobody could really tell me anything, and I was just like wasting my time with the live chat. And I had a very similar experience the next day trying to get everything figured out, and I still didn't know whether or not I get those packages today. I do plan on filming a haul, all the things that we ordered. It was like right at $600, which is where I really wanted to stay. I ordered nursing clothes. I ordered every baby thing I could think that we would possibly need. I ordered a couple of things I thought I would never order, but we ended up ordering them anyway, and also the bassinet. So that hasn't come in yet, but I wanted a bassinet. And anyway, I think that covers everything. And so you guys know I was really waiting on the growth scan for next week to hopefully be able to have a VBAC, and that's just not possible at this point. I'm not gonna get induced. I'm gonna just go ahead and have the C-section and get her out, because that's just the quickest, safest thing for her. I don't even care at this point. Like when they are saying, you know, this could be really dire for her, everything else went out the window. I get emotional thinking about it. Making it this far, I just want a healthy baby. You know, the alternatives are really scary, and they're a serious possibility with this disorder, which is shocking to me. And again, I'm sitting here scratching myself because I'm so freaking itchy. There's all the time. It's keeping me up at night. They did send in a prescription. I'm still waiting on the pharmacy to contact me about that. But other than that, there's not much to do except just take the baby out early. It's my liver causing the problem, and most people, as soon as they give birth, their liver's fine. So usually it doesn't cause any kind of complications for the mom or the baby. It's just getting the baby out. I'm trying to think if she said anything else. That's pretty much it. Oh, grandparents are on high alert. He called them as soon as I had my appointment last time, and they're like, well, if the blood work comes back, we're gonna take her early. So they're like, they already kind of knew that we're talking about possibly being early, and now they know, you know, in 2 weeks they're gonna have to be here. So they're like, we'll be here whenever you need us. Thankfully they're ready to go, so we'll have that taken care of. Yeah, so the whole thing's crazy, and we're getting it all worked out, and now we're definitely on like full steam ahead, getting everything done, every last thing. I'm still processing this. Going from like having her at 39, almost 40 weeks is still early from when I had Olivia. I was almost 42 weeks with her. I was like 2 days shy of 42 weeks with Olivia. So even, you know, going at 40 weeks seems early for me. 2 weeks is 5 weeks sooner than having Olivia. So it's just kind of shocking. I'm still kind of processing it, and getting over the feelings of it, and I'm super hormonal and super emotional, so that kind of plays into it too. And I like broke down just bawling last night. I was just in the bathroom taking off my makeup and getting ready for bed, and I just started bawling my eyes out because I'm thinking, like, I've never been away from Olivia. Like, we've gone on date nights and somebody else has tucked her into bed, but we've always been there in the morning when she wakes up. And this hospital requires 3 days after your C-section, and they don't count the first day. So basically 4 days I'm gonna be in the hospital, and I haven't even talked to the hospital because it's starting to be flu season. I don't even know if they're gonna let Olivia come to the hospital. The hospital in Champaign didn't let children in because it was flu season. So I don't know what their policies are. I need to find out about that. Thankfully, last week we got our flu shot, so that has been taken care of. I also got the Tdap last week, so it was like perfect timing to get that done. Baby will have a little bit of immunity from both of those shots. Yeah, I don't know if she's even gonna be allowed in the hospital, and I'm gonna be away from her for basically 4 days. Even if she does get to come visit, it's not the same. And like, I'm freaking out just about that. Like, I've never been away from my little baby before, and I know she's not a little baby now, but it's like, we've always been here. We've never gone away without her, and I'm gonna have to be away from her. But I think that is everything as far as the doctor's appointment. We're just gonna wait for my C-section date at this point. It's just kind of crazy. Things are mostly set up and ready, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about my week 35 actual like questions and things. So I told you guys about the doctor's visit. I got the registry stuff ordered, and hopefully the last few things are on the way. We're 2 weeks away from having baby, and so we're in week 35. Baby is the size of a coconut. And as far as symptoms, it has been just the itching. Like, it really ramped up. I thought, you know, dry skin, itchy belly here and there. And I told you guys it was really annoying, and then it spread to my legs, and then it spread to my arms, and now it's on my palms and on my bottoms of my feet and everywhere. Like, I itch so bad. Every day got worse. Every night has been worse. That's basically it. You know, I'm still kind of achy and sore from everything. My feet are a little bit swollen now. I've been trying to be good about propping my feet up when I'm resting, because we have reclining couches, so I can prop my feet up really easily, but they're still kind of swollen. Like, my toes feel a little bit swollen. That's just kind of a end of pregnancy thing, so it's not that big a deal. It's not like super swollen. I'm craving a couple of the same things. Earlier in the week, I was craving yogurt, and then we ordered some, and it's just not hitting the spot anymore. Livy and I still are both eating it, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I have to have yogurt every day like I was before. Like, I had yogurt every day pretty much. I'm still just like obsessively drinking the watered down sweet tea thing and just plain water. I've just been obsessively drinking just nonstop. I just feel constantly thirsty, and I'm drinking a ton. I made onion soup this week and ate the whole thing in like 2.5 days. I just ate it for like most meals of the day, and it was so good. I might try to make it again next week, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time before baby gets here. So I'm really like putting everything on hold at this point and trying to get my mind around getting this done in 2 weeks. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a whole lot of cooking next week because I don't have leftovers sitting in the fridge. And then my weirdest and strongest craving has been for fruit roll-ups. Like, just the, you know, the generic fruit roll-ups. I don't know how this got in my head. I've not seen anything fruit roll-up related, but I had to have fruit roll-ups. Johnny has gone twice to the store to get me a box of fruit roll-ups, and I picked up more of them, which you'll see in the grocery haul for next week. And I just love them. I'm just obsessed with them. I have multiples a day, and they're just so good. I don't know what it is about them. I'm just obsessed with them now. And I was itching way before the fruit roll-ups, so I know it's not the fruit roll-ups causing any itching problems. I don't think they have any allergen type foods in them anyway, but I was definitely way majorly itchy before the fruit roll-ups came into play. As far as aversions, I haven't had any this week that I remember at least. And then my weight is 199. So I am still, even though going 3 weeks early, I'm still gonna hit 200 pounds. 199 is 2 pounds up from last week, and that puts me at 32 pounds overall for this pregnancy, which is still like a great range. I know it's coming. I know that I'm gonna hit 200 next week. And as far as new discoveries, take itching seriously. I really went into the doctor not thinking about it. I know, you know, the palms of your hand thing. If your palms of your hands are itchy, that's a sign, but it can be just itching all over your body. So be sure to talk to your doctor about it. And since this is such a serious condition for the baby, get the blood work, you know? Insist on it if you suspect at all that the itching could not just be from dry skin. Get the blood work done. And it's really tragic, some of the stories I read online, that people didn't realize the itching was serious and they you know, they lost their baby at the very end, and it's just like one of the worst possible things I can think of. Carrying this baby and falling in love with it and feeling it move and then not leaving the hospital with the baby. See, pregnant ladies can't talk about things like this because then they get super crazy emotional. So anyway, going to compare Olivia's pregnancy to this pregnancy, completely different sides of the spectrum. Her pregnancy, completely normal. She went overdue. This pregnancy, I've had lots of complications. I had the placenta previa in the beginning part of the pregnancy. I've been super sore, and like every pregnancy symptom I've had the heartburn really, really bad, way worse than her pregnancy. And then now this, like this pregnancy has been a crazy roller coaster. I thought I was out of the woods, then now we're back to something super serious. And yeah, she's gonna come out 5 weeks earlier than Livy came out, which is crazy to me. I also can't wrap my mind around how small a 37-weeker is compared to a 42-weeker. And I'm really thankful we got all of those hand-me-down clothes. There are so many newborn clothes, and hopefully she fits in newborn sizes. I don't think we're gonna be talking preemie sizes, but we might. 37 weeks is pretty small. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I feel like Olivia was super strong right out the gate, and I felt like Olivia could almost hold her head up right out. Like she was wobbly and stuff, but she was really strong. She had really strong neck muscles even in the beginning. It seems like to me she's gonna be super tiny and frail and fragile, and I had a 9-pound 1 ounce 42-week baby, and I still felt like she was tiny. You know, she barely fit in newborn clothes, but I still felt like she was super tiny and small and delicate, and I don't know, I can't wrap my mind around having such a tiny baby. And I've been around tiny babies before. I've held them and stuff. It's been so long since then, and also I've never personally had one. Taking care of one as my child is gonna be kind of a shock. So I'm nervous about that part of it as well. It's just her being small and potentially having a couple of issues. So I took some of these notes before finding out all this, but the best thing this week is twofold. It's one, finding out the problem and getting it addressed. It could have potentially saved her life, me going in and just asking about the itching. And once my palms would have started itching, of course, we would have gone down the same road as well, but I had a little bit of time to kind of process the potential of it. And then really over this weekend, I knew something was wrong. Gave us a chance to get on top of this really early on. And then the other best thing is I got Halloween costumes for the girls, and it's gonna be super cute. They're matchy-matchy, and I can't wait to see them in it. But I'm really excited to have matching girls. Like that's one of the things I'm most excited about, having another girl. And then the worst thing obviously is the itching and the problem. On the agenda this week, I put wash, unpack, and set up all the new stuff. And yeah, we're still working on that. I've got to wash everything. I wanted to film the haul video for you guys. I was waiting for the last few things. And now that I know we're gonna be early, I'm gonna film it, I think today. And then I had 2 questions. Somebody had asked how I feel about people touching my belly and have strangers touched my belly. So when we went to SeaWorld over the summer, I had one little boy come up and touch my belly, and that was fine. He's just a little kid. I wasn't gonna like get on to him for that, and that's totally cool. And then at Livy's dance class, there was one little girl whose mom is also pregnant, so she came up and she's like, baby, and touches my belly, and her dad apologized, but I didn't care. She's so little, it's fine. Other than that, no. Thankfully, like, adult strangers have not come up and touched my belly. Of course, like, my friends can touch my belly, it's fine, it's no big deal. But I would freak the crap out if some adult came up to me and touched my belly. I'd be like, excuse me, like, this is personal property here. I would really have trouble with that. And thankfully, I don't think anybody did that when I was pregnant with Olivia either, but it's just, that's a big no-no. You don't go up and you touch strangers' bellies, whether they're pregnant or fat or whatever. You just never know. And you keep your hands to yourself if you're an adult. And kids, it's different. They're interested in babies, so I think that's okay. Adults, no. That's just not okay. Anyway, the next question was talking about postpartum outfits. Did I order anything? Basically, she was asking me what postpartum outfits I have, and I ended up ordering some nursing tanks, some nursing bras, some really loose fitting, they're like sweatpants, but they're like really loose and thin material because I am gonna have a C-section, so I went ahead and got some like really loose fitting things so they won't touch my stomach. I remember that being a problem. And depending on how I feel, I may order some nursing gowns to just wear as like dresses around the house for the first couple weeks while my incision is healing. And that way I don't have stuff touching it, because I remember with my previous C-section, I had leggings and some of them hit right at that incision and it was really uncomfortable. So I'm gonna really try to, wear loose, flowy things, especially at first. I was really fortunate and thankful that I could nurse Olivia for 18 months and then she weaned herself. I was really trying to go for 2 years, but she's had a mind of her own, of course. But I lived in nursing bras and nursing tanks and like loose fitting clothes that I could pull down, like these are maternity tank tops, but I can pull them down and like whip out a boob if I need to. So I'm definitely prepared for that. I'll show you guys the specific things I purchased in that baby haul coming up. I didn't order any like pretty dresses or anything. I would really like some of those really pretty like nursing tops and nursing dresses where you can like pull the foldable fabric and just whip out part of your boob, not your whole boob. And that would be nice. So I'll probably order some of those along the way since it's such a long period of time. One of my biggest concerns now is her having trouble feeding and me having to pump and not getting a good latch. So I'm just not counting on being able to nurse her at this point. Like, I'm not holding on to it and clinging on to it. Like with Olivia, she latched immediately. She had a little bit of a shallow latch, but she figured it out pretty quickly. So it wasn't a big deal, but this time we might have some feeding issues, and I'm just going into it prepared to pump if I need to pump or supplement if I need to supplement, just, you know, whatever's best for her. And I did nurse, like I said, I really wanted to nurse for 2 years. I nursed for 18 months. That was exclusive. She'd had like 2 bottles in like the first few weeks of her life. This was a new parent mistake, but they were fast flow nipples on the bottles, which I didn't know there were different kinds of nipples, but she like inhaled it and then projectile vomited it up both times because it was too fast of a flow, and she ate too much quickly and vomited up, and we never tried bottles again. Like, it was scary, and she just never had a bottle after that. She was exclusively breastfed for 18 months. And I think, you know, breastfeeding is a wonderful thing, but it's also effing exhausting and hard. And I would never judge another mom for choosing not to, even if they choose not to. Personally, I think formula feeding seems harder because then you have to mix up everything. You have to have things warmed up the right temperature, and you have to carry around bottles. And to me, it seems like the harder thing to do. With Olivia, I could just whip out a boob and feed her on the go, and it was no big deal. So to me, bottle and formula feeding seems really daunting, but in my mind, zero judgment. Either way you go, fed is best, and it's freaking hard to have a newborn, no matter what way you feed it. I've got a couple of family members and friends who would have given anything to be able to breastfeed their kids, and they weren't able to. They just physically weren't able to. I know, like, the stigma around it, and people, you know, can be really judgy about it, but I'm not judging at all. But I really would like to breastfeed if I can, because like I said, all the bottle stuff sounds a little bit more daunting to me than just whipping out a boob. So yeah, moral of that whole rant was, coming even from a mom who wants to breastfeed and who chose to breastfeed last time, fed is best. It doesn't matter how you feed your baby. And I'm just kind of anticipating having to supplement, at least at first. If she has trouble with it, we're gonna supplement, and it's no big deal. That part of the mommy war thing really gets to me because it's just so judgmental, and I know how bad some people want to breastfeed and just can't, and some choose not to, and that's totally okay too. I'll say one thing, breastfeeding was the most selfless and one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, it took all of me to be able to breastfeed, and I wouldn't force that on anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to feel bad for not choosing that. It's freaking hard work, and it was really demanding on my body, and lots of points in time it was not fun. Like, some people make it out to be like the most beautiful, relaxing, precious thing that you could do, and most of the time I felt like a cow being milked. You know, I didn't feel like it was what's keeping me bonded with my kid, and some people really, you know, get the emotions into it, and I just didn't. I didn't like having the baby attached to me all the time because they're physically, literally attached to you, drinking from you, and it's hard work. And I wasn't one of those people that thinks it's magical and the best thing ever. There were a few times where she was really sick and I really saw the benefits of it because I could comfort her in that way, but there are other ways to comfort your baby and bond with your baby. I think all of the arguments where, you know, breast is best, I think it's just kind of garbage arguments. I think you just have to do whatever you feel is right and you feel is best, and you're the parent, so you get to make that decision, and the judgy people don't get to make that decision. So yeah, super long rant there. That's probably partial hormones and also partially just getting that off my chest. Fed is best. Moving on, I don't have anything else. I'll try to do one more update for you guys, and I don't even know if I'll need to put up the hiatus notice because she's coming out so early. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the belly, and yeah, this will be almost the last belly shot here. Olivia built that puzzle and she was so proud of herself for building it. I don't know if you guys can see. It's like a space puzzle. She built it the other day up here all by herself. She comes up here a lot now and plays all by herself, and she's getting so big. There is 35-week belly. I feel bigger and bigger every week. I don't know, I feel massive now, and I can't tell if she's low or high or anything, so what do you guys think? I really don't know. I feel like she's sitting right here, and a lot of times I'll get the oblong shape, so maybe she's trying to flip, I don't know, but she's definitely trying to spread out this way and not spread out this way, which is really uncomfortable when she does that. Oh, I have one more thing to talk about. So there you go, 35-week belly. I'll sit back down. All right, I have one more thing to talk about. I had mentioned I had had a few little Braxton Hicks, or what I thought was probably Braxton Hicks, but it wasn't a tightening like all the way across my belly like I remembered with Olivia's pregnancy. It was just like the under part of my belly would get tightened. And I think those were little Braxton Hicks. And I have only had one instance of like major Braxton Hicks happening. And I was just like doing stuff around the house. I could tell I was getting tired. I was in the middle of cooking dinner and unloading the dishwasher and like tidying up a little bit. And I had to sit down because I was getting major Braxton Hicks right across the whole belly. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the Braxton Hicks that I had felt with her pregnancy. And it was just one incident of it. I guess I overexerted myself a little bit. So I definitely know I've had some Braxton Hicks. I just find it so bizarre that I haven't had a lot of Braxton Hicks. It's just bizarre. But anyway, this video is 1 billion years long. I think you guys will probably be surprised. I'm still in shock. I keep saying 2 weeks, but my weekends are when I flip weeks. So I'm 35 weeks and a few days. So it's gonna be less than 2 weeks out from now. I'm gonna have a baby, and it's shocking because I don't know, I felt like I had all this time left. It just wasn't sinking in until this last little scare. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the update. I'll have my pregnancy playlist for this pregnancy and also my pregnancy playlist when I was pregnant with Olivia listed down below for you guys. And hopefully I'll have that baby supply haul for you guys either by the end of this week or early next week. And if not, be watching for that sometime. I hope you guys are well. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.